guys, how you doing? I'm just kind of hanging out in my kitchen right now, thinking about making dinner. Thinking about some stuff we tried to talk about last night. If you were watching Rebel Alliance, listening to Rebel Alliance last night, the reason why I had to leave is because something really weird happened in my house. It sounded like somebody was pounding a baseball bat in our attic. Now we just built this house. I assume we're not, built over some sort of graveyard. If we are screwed. So, so then we have a poltergeist. No, just kidding. Probably was the house settling. But anyway, I wanted to see what was going on. How was everybody? Just kind of thinking about what's been going on with the Star Wars stuff, and we had a really good discussion last night before everything went bluey here. So anyway, we talked a little bit about what episode 9 might be like. I know a lot of people aren't excited about it. I know I'm not. They're going to have to really pull some shit out of their asses to get me to go. Okay. And that's the truth. I'm very much done now with Star Wars until they fix it. Anyway, so, well, I'm really not. I'm gonna mock it and make fun of them, and ask Mark Hamill out loud on Twitter why he's still part of this. Maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know. Anyway, so, I did a video today about called "The Parents in the Mirror," and the reason why I did it, it's become, obvious to me that hey Bonnie, how you doing? I'm just kind of hanging out, kind of doing my thing here. Anyway, wanted to chat with you guys a little bit. I only have 2 people watching right now, so whatever, I didn't put the word out, and probably not getting any, people aren't getting any mentions or notifications, so that's the case. Well, that's the case. I can't do anything about it. But anyway, if you want to go to Twitter and just tell people I'm live right now, that'd be great. Thank you. Anyway, and I probably should have done that. So anyway, we were talking a little bit about, episode 9 and what they could do to retcon it. And now we all know Billy D. Williams is coming back. Hey, Bruce. I am going to wait until they tell us who the big name is. And I'm going to wait until I hear more plot leaks that don't come from Mike Zero. Okay? If they said a hunk of wheat was going to be in the movie, he'd post clickbait video on it and get 1 million hits. So I'm going to wait, do my digging around, talk to my contacts, and see what's happening. I'm boycotting unless it looks like something I would like to see. All right? If they do it the right way, and I know that you guys are all angry at me for giving JJ the benefit of a doubt, but when I heard that he's really angry with Rian Johnson, doesn't get along with Kathleen Kennedy, and really was quoted out of context when he was talking about men being afraid of women, fans like that, he was quoted out of context in that, and I believe that, because, reporters do that all the time. They did that to Carrie Fisher when she was on her last book tour a lot and stuff like that. So I don't really, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I do believe that he's probably pissed off at Rian Johnson. I think everybody with a brain, the cabal at Lucasfilm is probably, hates him as much as they hate Kathleen Kennedy, and she's got a lot of people who hate her there too. Let me tell you, it's really quite interesting when you start thinking about all this and what it means and all of that. And anyway, I'm gonna put you here. See, Ta-da! Hey, it's Corey. Yeah, he probably would have to pull a thing up, but you know, it's really not that difficult to fix it if they do it right. I mean, if they do it right, then I would have no problem with that at all. It's just they've got to they've got to do it in a way that is captivating, keeps the spirit of the movie up, the stories up, and doesn't and stop crapping on the characters. I mean, I just had somebody basically say, well, if Harrison Ford comes back, they're probably trying to, you know, save Kyle Ron. No, no, that doesn't have anything to do with Kyle Ron. Um, it was very interesting. I was watching Pablo Hidalgo on, oh God, I was watching Pablo Hidalgo on Twitter one day, a while, years and years ago. Hey, what the Sith? How are you? And he basically told a bunch of Raylos that Kyle Ron is irredeemable. And I think that's actually what JJ. God, I look like a cow, don't I? Jeez Louise. I'm a size 4 for crying out loud. What is this? That JJ basically said that, or that, Pablo Hidalgo said that, and I was really shocked that he said that. And I think a lot of them are quite angry. At at what's been going on, and I also think they're really, really bored, massively bored, with hearing about Raylo. So, it's just we have to wait and see. I am pretty, you know, convinced that if Ford does come back to do one more last hurrah at the end of the month for Star Wars, that it's probably going to be for Ray. Uh, if you watch the video that I made, The Parents in the Mirror, that's Harrison Ford's. That's his, that's him at the end of it. I mean, you can almost see his face. And what's really interesting is that even Rian Johnson said Han Solo was going to be in the movie in a way. This is his way of doing that. Fuck you, Rian Johnson. So anyway, I do feel bad for him. I mean, I don't think he meant any of this to happen. Kill Ray? Why would you? No. I actually wonder if she's not Kylo Ren's mom. Think about that. Kerry Russell. I mean, I still think they could flip that over on everybody. I really think that Disney is really thinking about changing everything they started to try to do. And honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. My suspicion is it wasn't Disney that wanted to get rid of the old EU. It was Kathleen Kennedy and her minions at Lucasfilm. In fact, Pablo Hidalgo was completely gleeful when they said they were getting rid of it. Yeah, they did have the best setup. I mean, it would have been so amazing. You could have even almost had that mirror scene, but I would have done her reveal a little bit different. I would have finished out her Force vision, but I would have done it in a way. I would have done it on the Falcon. I would have done it on the Falcon in the first act. I mean, I would have. Yeah, Mara, that's true. I mean, it would, if they did the adoption thing, and let's say like they do Kerry Russell in um, a flashback of either getting killed and giving her baby to Luke or something like that. And what's really interesting, if you really think about Ren, is that like Palpatine, he murdered his father. Probably, Bruce. That's probably why. But not only did Palpatine murder his own father, he murdered Plagueis. You know, and I don't. Here's the deal. Rey bothers me. Rey doesn't need to be the way she is. Rey is Rey because of bad writing. And people can get pissed off at me all they want for saying that, but it's true. It is not Daisy's fault. It is not Daisy's fault. It is not. I don't think Kylo carried anything, but you know, Annie. I thought about that. He could be Luke's son. And no, she's not. I mean, what if? I mean, if he's not Luke's son, what if he's a Palpatine? He's following in Palpatine's footsteps. He murdered his father. He murdered Snoke, his mentor. Think about it. Then he murdered his other mentor. Think about it. That would be an interesting little holy moly thing. If he didn't, well, would he? I mean, I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's why I think that's why he might not be Luke's son. He might be a kid that was found, that was adopted. I really think that's a really good idea, and a lot of people like it, which gives Rey the freedom to kill him and finally get rid of the Sith forever. I mean, and it also gives her a little impetus, a little bit of, a little bit of, yeah, she did. She bypassed character development, and how cool would it have been in that scene to have Harrison Ford looking back at her, and then her waking up in the hut, screaming, and then looking at Luke saying, "Why didn't you recognize me?" And then him having a whole mess to deal with about, "Why did you go into that dark side cave? You weren't ready to find out who your parents were." And she's going, "Well, now that I know, I mean, then he would have a problem, because then she wants revenge. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, basically, I don't think they're going to do that, Rhonda. And I don't think it'll be a resurrection. I think it'll be either a flashback or kind of like what we saw in the Mirror Cave, sort of a vision. Yeah, he did. Ryan did cut out that part of the hero's journey. I don't. This is a guy that says he loves. Hey, Iron Inquisitor. Oh yeah, there you are. Well, who knows? I mean, they've stolen fan fiction and stuff from fans before. If they stole mine, I'd be very happy. I wouldn't even ask for money. Well, I don't think the story group is long for this world, guys. I think the reason why a lot of these writers have been screaming and ranting and raving is because a lot of their stuff is being decanonized. I think that was a decision by Iger and Disney. And I've said this before, and this is true. Kathleen Kennedy has nothing to do with Episode 9. She's basically, probably levitating over a pentagram in her office in Burbank. And the pentagram is painted in goat's blood. And I've heard that if you do a pentagram like that and then say summon me 3 times, she and Carrie Hart and Lin-Manuel Brennan will manifest. Yeah, I would either do that or do what was do what JJ wanted to do, because there was a good start there. Um, I just can't get over Han being murdered like that, and then Ren being such a dickhead, he kicks his body over the edge. That was gross. I mean, that was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. Okay, it really, really was. It was vile, and I didn't like it. So, I don't think anybody liked it. I mean, I walked out of the theater pissed off, and people were crying. No, we didn't, but I bet you we do. I don't know, Star Wars addicts. I don't know. I mean, and I think that's probably over. I think you might see a shift of SJW stuff going to the EU or going to the MCU and Star Wars being revamped for the fans. I think Iger understands now. I think our writing campaign helped a lot, but you have to understand who he is. He's been trying to get rid of Catholic Kennedy for a year. Do I? I think some of them might. I think Ryan Johnson's like that. I mean, what was it? Craig at Reviews for You basically said that the guy isn't married. That woman that shows up with him at premieres and stuff isn't his wife, isn't related, isn't a girlfriend. I don't know what his deal is. They do need mental help. Well, I'm not really excited about Resistance. I think it looks stupid. That's just me. I mean, oh, I did too. I mean, I was so pissed off. Well, I tell ya, you run that past Greg at Reviews for You. Go, look him up on Twitter right now and ask him that. I'm not gonna go see that. Why would I want to go to Galaxy's Edge? I have absolutely no desire. I mean, and Star Wars Celebration is probably going to turn into a riot. What's so funny, Uncle Gubsby? Troll. I would like more Clone Wars. Yeah, I think it would be a riot. Oh, I don't know, Tauntaun girl. I mean, I think you've got to. I don't think you're up to date on everything. It's getting pretty crazy, and I think he's the one that basically tells Ray what's going on. I think that they had to bring him back to do that. Since Luke is dead, uh, you know, no, nobody really does care about the sequel era, and that's Lucasfilm's fault. I don't really think they're going to kill him off, um, Lando off. I think that would just be, all right, that's enough. I think Ray has to seek him out, and he tells her what's going on, and then, yeah, they did screw the pooch. I mean, I even sent a tweet to Iger and said, there's so many stories that you could have made into movies, that you could have turned into animated series that would have been great for the streaming service. You know, you know. I don't think they're going to do that with him. I really, really don't. I think they've learned their lesson, and I really, really do. I mean, I honestly think that all this that they're going to probably oh, thanks, what the Sith. I wish they'd asked me on. Johnny at 5 is alive. Ha ha ha. Hey, how you doing? You know, and we'll just see what's going on. I mean, I'll just, you know, there isn't really any today's news. I haven't heard anything about what's happening at Lucasfilm in a long time now, 2 weeks now, except for the Reddit thing, which confirmed Grace Randolph and Jeremy and Ethan and me and some other people, and of course Craig at Reviews for You. I mean, we're the ones that have been basically, on top of the story, and we don't know what's going on. They're really not. Uh, yeah. Well, Disney's not going to say, "Hey, we're firing Kathleen and everybody." I mean, they're not going to do that. I mean, they've got here's with Comcast, we're all still waiting for Comcast to come in and try to sweep Fox off its feet again. And there's a lot of decision making in that. And I'm going to say this: if Comcast, yeah, you can, and it's too bad. I mean, they need someone who's not afraid to go in and fix it. I can't figure out what they're going to do. And yeah, they're supposed to counter. In fact, that's why they're holding off a decision until the end of the month to see if they do. The hedge fund guys that are huge, shareholders in Fox, put the kibosh on this. Yeah. Well, it was the end of the movie. Of course, I walked out of the theater. I considered walking out of the theater when, we didn't get, that guy with that silhouette in the mirror, and all you see is her face. And if you look really closely, to me, it's you can almost see Harrison Ford looking back at her, and I'm like, you couldn't do that for us. You couldn't. I mean, but Rian Johnson thinks that he was making a movie for himself. Here's the thing: he showed the executives at Disney seven different edits. What was left on the editing floor? The Hugs fiasco. I mean, the whole beginning of the movie, you're like, what the, and the only thing that that sequence did was they started the movie right off with action. All right, and that's it. That's how you start a movie like this, is with action. Just like how Lucas started A New Hope. The Empire Strikes Back wasn't started that way, but it kind of was. Return of the Jedi. Yeah, well, that's another thing. And I said, and I was gonna say this today. The problem with what Disney did is they were in too much of a hurry. They didn't think it out. Okay, you can't just throw shit together, call it Star Wars, and people are gonna like it. You have to think everything out carefully. I would have rather have waited till 2017 for the first of the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? For the first of the sequel trilogy. I mean, they're, and they were in too much of a hurry, and this is what we got, and now they're paying for it. Bundled together, the movies haven't made more than $1.5 billion. They paid $4.3 billion for Lucasfilm. Well, I think actually Iron Inquisitor, I think that actually was filmed, and it's on the cutting room floor. There's a whole sequence that we were told. I mean, people saw it going on, being filmed on the island. Adam Driver was on the island. And what we got was nothing. Nothing. No questions answered. No real plot. Just as, they were there. They just got left on the cutting room floor, Darksaber Force. They were there. And it's just, oh, I know he did. And it's like, and you guys know the timeline I put together. He didn't start bitching about it till they started doing the reshoots. So, you put two and two together and tell me what you think. Because I think that everything that we saw that was bad, from Luke attempting to kill Kyle Ron, oh, those ears, oh God, Adam Driver is so, to some of the other stuff that was just really bad, poorly put together. I think the hand touching scene, you know, Kyle Ron basically telling Ray she's a nobody is, no, it was Luke fighting. All right, why? Kylo or Annie? What? But, you know, all that stuff that we didn't like was a reshoot. And they started reshooting in March of 2016. That's when Mark Hamill started bitching, and he was right. Not yet. Not yet. All right, guys, I gotta go. All right, just a real quick one. So, hey, Mr. Pete, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. In fact, I miss feeding my dogs. I'm getting the evil look.